Alright guys, welcome back to THM, your host, the Honest Mechanic over here. And as promised, I have Subaru back in the shop. I know you guys remember this thing. I've done a whole bunch of work to this car. There's a whole playlist. It'll be down in the comment section. You guys can check it out there if you want to see what you might have missed. But real quick, I put in a new motor from a scrapyard. That was the biggest thing. But I've also done a couple of other repairs along the way. And it's back because it needs another little thing. And we're going to check it out right now. Alright, so what do we got going on? Oh, by the way guys, if you don't know, this is my dad. He's now the owner of the car. Well, also my mom, I guess, over here. See? So long story short, after I got all the car fixed up, they bought it. So it's still technically in the last name, the same last name. So it's still in the family. Original, I bought this new with my wife. So what's going on now?
Small issue, just the windshield washer sprayer doesn't want to work.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think I can tackle a windshield washer if I was able to tackle the engine. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's go through it. I'm going to teach you guys what I know about this system. I'm just going to go over it really quick and diagnose what I think it might be, and then we'll get it rectified. Or as I should say, rectified. Alright, so the fuses for this particular car, there are fuses under the hood, but the fuses in the system that we're looking for are underneath this panel. So you're just going to pull this right out. It does just sit right there. And then you can, of course, look through, if I put it the right way, look through the diagram and find the fuse you're looking for. Just like any other problem, guys, hold on, let me just, there you go. Just like any other problem, electrical wise, always start with the simplest thing. Start with the fuse. Check the fuse in the system, make sure it, for some reason, hasn't blown. And I'm going to give you guys a little trick here, because I don't know if everybody knows this, but looking down on here, if you look at this panel and you look at all of the fuses available, all you'll ever see is, I believe it's right over here, item number, it doesn't have an item, but it says rear washer wiper. But you can't find the front wiper. That's because it's actually located off the side. There's another little placard right here, and if you get your, it's easy with a phone, so I can pop my phone in here, and there it is. There's a little blue guy right there. So we're gonna go check that guy. Sorry about the lighting, because it's kind of, as you can see, it's tucked in. Looking straight at it like this, you can't see it. You gotta really kind of tuck your way in there to find it. So let's take a look at that fuse and see if it's blown. Alright, so we've got it on the bench, and we're just gonna do a quick little test here. I like to use a multimeter, of course. And of course, this one here doesn't look very good at all. And absolutely nothing. Completely dead. So that might have just saved a whole pile of time, and because that there is garbage. And here, let me show you why. Thanks, Dad. I'll grab the camera from here. But check this out. On this particular car, guys, if you had to replace the washer pump, believe it or not, I think the easiest way is to pull the engine. No, I'm just kidding. But for real though, the easiest way is actually to pull the front bumper, because if I can get my camera at the right angle, you're going to see right at the bottom, you're going to see the two lines that are feeding the washer pump. Okay, there you go. I had the camera in the wrong angle, but if you look right down here, right where I'm flashing, that's where the two pumps are located. And if you look back, zoom your way out, even if you pull the battery and the battery tray, you still have to pull the whole washer jug out, which from underneath, damn near impossible. I think honestly the easiest way would be to pull the front cover here, or maybe the fender liner. I'm not sure. I haven't actually done that because we got lucky this time. We just had to replace a fuse. All right, moment of truth here. Let's see if they work. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Well, I can't say much more than that. That was probably the easiest repair I've had to do in a little while anyways. All right, while we're at it, we may as well do the regular checkup. We're going to check all the fluids, make sure that they're all topped up in case we have to go for a long trip. And of course, always wipe the dipstick before you put it back in. The engine has been run, so it's going to be a little bit lower than it should be. But check it out. The junkyard motor doesn't burn oil. That's impressive. Very good. I'm actually really happy with this thing. It's been a very good car to us. So the only other fluid I can think of checking right now would be, of course, you got your brake fluid over here, and then down below you've got your automatic transmission fluid. That needs to be running, of course, and in neutral for that to be checked. And since I have an assistant, we actually may as well do that. So go ahead and fire it up, Dad. And put the park brake on. Don't run me over. All right, so we're in neutral. All right. So let's take a look here. Wipe it clean one more time just because might have had a bit of a splash. So I've actually changed this fluid as well a little while back, but it's looking a tad low. So I still have some left over, I think, in the shed, and we're going to top it off. All right, so we're going to add just a little bit of the actual Subaru ATF HP fluid. It's cold, so see how it flows here. Oh yeah, it still flows pretty nicely. I'm not sure how low it is, so I'm going to check it a bunch of times here. I'm just going to add a little bit at a time, and we'll just keep checking it until it comes up into the dipstick where I want it. Alright guys, so I was a little bit off on that. Yes, the vehicle does have to be running, but I just checked the manual again because it didn't feel quite right, and I should have went with my gut feeling right off the bat. According to Subaru in their manual, you're supposed to run the vehicle until it's warm, and then you go through all the gears, then you put it back in the park, and at that time you will check the transmission fluid. So that's what we're going to do this time. Maybe it's already okay. I didn't add very much though, so. Alright, I'm happy with that. You can kill it. While we're at it, we may as well go ahead and check the tire pressures since it's nice in here and it's not cold. Okay, so looks like we're at 26. We're going to top this one off because I believe we need a little bit more than that. So this gauge says about 32. And then let's see what this digital gauge says. I trust the digital gauge a little bit more. See, it actually says 28. So I'm going to go all the way around at 30 because that's what the car is asking for in the door. And then we'll be ready to go. And finally, while we're in here, let's take a quick look at the brake wear. And the rotors are looking like they've seen better days, but they're not terrible. I used to run cross-drilled rotors on the front and back of the Subaru here. And you can tell that they're going to need a bit of a cleaning, but I'm due to replace the oil in this guy soon anyways, so we'll do it at that time. And the back, yeah, see the back, I don't know guys, but comment down below if you own one of these Subaru Foresters of this same era. This is a 2009. I think they stopped making these in 2015 of this model, like the model style, but the rear brakes on these were always, they didn't last as long as the front, that's definitive. I mean, I'm not sure, like you can see there's a bit of a groove there, and I've tried all sorts of brake pads, I've tried all sorts of rotors over the years, and this is what you get. You get a bit of a groove in there. You still get plenty of braking power, but you can't seem to get rid of that groove. Alright, well that's going to do it for today's video guys. The Subaru's still kicking. I'm still very happy with it. My parents just seem to be very happy with it as well. So if you guys have any other questions or comments on the Subaru, I have all sorts of other videos that you guys can check. I mentioned that. It's going to be in the playlist down below. And of course, if you like the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And until next time, grab some tools, go in the shop and go do something.